Welcome back. I'm here with our dear guest for this evening, Alison Koushki. She is the senior language instructor, and Abderrahim, the head of English department. Hello and welcome to our show this evening.
Hello. It's great to be here.
It's always a pleasure to have you here. I believe that there has been a festival, a very interesting festival that took place. Can you tell me more about that?
Sure, I'd love to. And actually, the good news is it's coming up.
Okay, very nice.
So our viewers that hear about it will have a chance to attend. It's a festival. It's called a Language Arts Festival. And what we do is we have performers from all over Kuwait, students, and they're performing their language arts, such as short plays, poetry, a song. This is all to practice their English language, practice and polish and improve, because we believe that if they use the language actively, it will give them so much chance to be creative, to gain self-confidence, to learn pronunciation, and to blend education and entertainment. So the festival is coming up this Wednesday at 5 p.m. Free, fun, and open to everyone.
Very interesting. Sounds very exciting. I have to attend myself, to be honest.
Yes, I hope you do. The auditorium is capacity 500, so we have plenty of space.
And can you tell us more about the participants themselves and how do you prepare them for such events?
True. The festival, as you mentioned, it's open for all talented students, teachers here in Kuwait, within the country, and I will be one of the participants.
Ah, nice.
Yes, so organizer, but as a participant as well. So the variety, talented ones like on stage, in theater, others like poets, others are very, very good singers. I mean, with a lot of variety of arts, but we are all sharing the same aim, which is taking the language out of the classroom. They learn on stage. So this is the aim, is taking the English language out of the classroom. And we have a variety of participants, each one with his specific talents and skills that we're going to show on Wednesday.
Very interesting. So some of the students, what are they taking part in all of the different activities, or are they sticking to one certain thing? Like, is there a certain criteria for everyone?
Well, the only criteria is
boundary, or is it open again to everyone?
Our youngest is 8.
Wow.
And our oldest is probably me. So our performers are from schools and universities all over Kuwait, and that includes government schools and private schools, and government university, Kuwait University, and private universities. And I don't believe it's ever been done before.
Okay, so this is the first time.
Well, this is our second time to do this. We had a Language Arts Festival a year ago. However, the idea of students from all over, from different schools, normally there are performances.
Last year it was just for the school itself, one specific school?
Same idea.
Same idea, okay.
Same idea, a blend of schools and universities all over Kuwait.
So what makes this year more special?
Well, a lot of things. The first thing that comes to my mind is we have a spectacular young lady. She's only 8 years old, but she just loves the stage. And she'll come out and she'll do her shampoo. She has a mock advertisement, and she comes and she says, "Do you have a problem with your hair? Is your hair dry and curly?" And then she proceeds to market her product. She has so much charm. And this is all in English, and it's very surprising. She's not a native speaker of the language.
She has so much potential.
Yes, yes.
Not just for English, but like drama as well, and the confidence that she has. That's amazing.
Exactly.
Abderrahim, can you tell me more about how you're going to be participating in this? Because you said earlier that you're going to take part of it as well.
True. I heard about this event through TESOL conference because I will be delivering a workshop. I was just applying for TESOL, and then I heard there is a very wonderful festival about arts, and that's I said, okay, it's my first time to share my poetry ever on stage. Though I wrote for since a very long time, but I was not that confident enough to share my poetry on stage. And just I want to speak to this lovely lady and said, okay, look, I have some poems that I wrote, but I doubt that to be good enough to be on stage. And I just shared some of them, and so she encouraged me really to say that really, really wonderful, you need to be on stage. So this is the thing, I mean, every talented person needs just a small push in order to, and I know there are lots of people, they have hidden talents, and they all need for that trigger in order to motivate them to be on stage. And this is how all started. And I will be sharing some of my mind whispers. I call them mind whispers because I believe every one of us has a little bird whispers every day, giving you advice or showing you the right way or maybe blaming you. I just run quickly and take that mind whispers and put them down. I'll be sharing some of them and some of the poetry as well, both in English and Arabic too.
That sounds very exciting, I have to say. So this is very nice, the idea that you just mentioned, how you weren't so confident, but you were actually writing a lot of different things and poems and something that's worthy of sharing. So as someone that goes through this, do you think anyone is capable of writing something, or do you like that people, or like the students or whoever wants to participate, just comes along with whatever they have and be able to encourage them to do so? Or is it like it depends, like it varies maybe on the genre, or?
Well, it's mainly student driven, which is the beauty of it. Because when a student actually wants to express himself, that's when you get the real nuggets of gold. Now, in our classrooms, we are telling our students, now you need to do this exercise, you need to learn the present perfect tense, you need to practice this dialogue. But this is the teacher directed. But when the student himself or herself has, I have something I'd like to say, that's when it's really precious. So we let the students volunteer what they'd like to do.
Very interesting. And how do you feel you're preparing for this? Because this is your very first time, and it's obviously very exciting to be on stage for the first time.
Yes, true. I mean, the stage is called the stage of fear. Okay, it doesn't have anything with experience or age or the stage of fear. The stage of fear. That's why it needs a lot of preparation, really. I mean, psychologically, preparing, rehearsals, and that's why we're doing now. Yes. Tomorrow, we'll be rehearsing again on stage, and in order to make sure that our work will be well performed. And as well, for example, from my side, for example, about poetry, it's not just saying words or just telling people or just reading from a paper. Poetry is 70% emotions, 70% feelings that you have. If you don't believe in what you say, if you don't, it doesn't come within, I cannot reach you. It will be just a piece of paper and just ink on paper, right? Nothing to do. That's why it needs a lots of meaning, lots of understanding, and lots of feeling. I have to feel it myself first, so that I can make you feel it. Because as it says, you can take a horse to water, but you cannot make him drink. The same thing. I can tell you lots of things, but it's difficult to make you feel what I want to transmit to you.
But do you normally like write things out of your own experiences, or it's something that you can just like place your mind and try to picture yourself somewhere different with the thought or whatever you feel, and then you write it down? Or is it the actual experience that you get? I'm going to share a secret with you here
tonight. Is I write only in winter, during the bad weather, and this is the majority of the time that I have inspiration, and then I write. Otherwise, I write any time that comes to my mind. For example, sometimes in the middle of the night, I get an idea, a whisper, or I get, for example, starting of a poem, or I just run, take a pen and paper, write it immediately, because otherwise I will forget. And then I try to build up, and then I always edit, amend, add, delete. It depends sometimes. But the majority of time, I write about myself, about the feelings, but not deliberately about myself, but I make it general. So when you read it,
You can relate
you understand
to
it
yes.
to your. So
Okay.
this is a writer, so you write to a variety of audiences. So when they read, they feel themselves in what you write.
You're very talented, I have to say, and I'm sure if I listen to some of the things, I'd get
We'll see
and relate to them as
if you
well.
come on Wednesday.
His delivery style is
Yes.
amazing, and his words are dynamite.
Of course,
thank
you're
you.
preparing
It's true.
really well for Wednesday, and there's a lot of rehearsals. So can you tell us about how many rehearsals you've done so far, and the process of just like telling everyone to be there and preparing and all that?
Well, it's an interesting process that has developed, it has evolved on its own. And what we usually do is that the school teachers or university teachers, they train their team at their university first. And then, so it involves many directors. I'm kind of the producer, I bring them all together. I inspire them and bring them all together. So the respective teachers or professors train their team, work with their team, and then we all meet and figure out a roster and put the whole show together. And we're at that stage now, and we better be, because
Very interesting.
it's coming soon.
I have to say, it's very interesting. Do you have any last words for this evening?
I mean, I would love to invite anyone who is really, really interested in arts and language learning out of the classroom, and I encourage parents to bring their kids, because I believe when you bring a kid at a very young age, we are trying to raise our children on the love of language and arts, because I believe language is a vivid material. It's not just, as you mentioned, learning passive and active or present simple in the classroom. Language is a means of communication, is the way of how I convince you, how I talk to you. It involves the whole of our daily life. So it's not just, you can be a perfect student in the classroom, but you cannot be a very good speaker or presenter or a communicator in general. So this is what we are encouraging people. So bring your kids, come to and attend our festival, and you are all welcome. Much fun. You will regret if you don't come.
I'm sure
Exactly.
that is very true. And do you have any last words
Yes.
as well?
The magic ingredient in language learning, the magic wand, is the actual wish to communicate. If you feel that you want to say something or communicate, whether in writing or speaking. And that's why what we do is leaves a powerful imprint. It can really give a student self-confidence. And what I love is that they practice their reading, writing, listening, and speaking. And then on top of that, they practice life skills such as creativity and collaboration and gaining self-confidence and the art of compromise. Because when they're on stage, they sometimes have a conflict they have to resolve. They have to learn to compromise. It's like life. It's a life laboratory. And as a merger, dovetailing education and entertainment is a win-win situation.
True.
It is a win-win situation no matter what, because it sounds very interesting, very well prepared and rehearsed for as well. And there's a lot of talents, I believe, because
So much.
I've just heard of a few, and it's just amazing. And I'm sure everyone would want to join. So thank you so much for being here tonight with us.
I should add that we are a special interest group within TESOL Kuwait. TESOL Kuwait is a non-profit organization of language teachers.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Looking
Thank
forward
you
to
so
seeing
much.
you.
We're going to check out our other report for this evening, which is all about the collections in Al-Atman Art Gallery.